The origins of Covenant Theology. Covenant theology originated with John Calvin, one of the leaders of the Protestant Reformation, as a complete, systematic theology. But as I have mentioned repeatedly, John Calvin and the other reformers believed they were restoring essential truths that the Roman Catholic Church had lost. So in his battle against the obvious distortions of truth he found in the Roman Catholic Church, Calvin sought authority for his views by appealing to the writings of the 4th century theologian Augustine. For that reason, Calvin's covenant theology is often called Augustinian theology, and we must admit that to the extent that it agrees with what Augustine wrote, covenant theology actually originated in the 4th century. However, Augustine agrees with the early church fathers on some points. Since he could have obtained that part of his theology from them, we will have to consider the possibility that the essentials of covenant theology have been around since the 1st century. John Calvin, along with Ulrich Zwingli, established the Reformed Church in Switzerland. John Knox later made Calvin's Reformed Church theology the basis for Presbyterian church doctrine as well. Through the Anglican Church, it even influenced Methodist, Congregational, Puritan, and Baptist theology. Consequently, Calvin's views on the 2 points of disagreement I mentioned above were handed down by evangelists like John Wesley, Jonathan Edwards, and Charles Finney, as well as by a whole host of Baptist, Presbyterian, and Reformed theologians who taught theology in various seminaries both in the United States and in Europe. Until the turn of the 20th century, Princeton Theological Seminary, among others, provided the essential safeguards necessary to preserve intact Calvin's theological system here in the United States. Since that time, however, other seminaries have had to take up the banner in order to prevent covenant theology from succumbing to liberalism. That is why schools as divergent as Westminster Seminary in Philadelphia and Trinity Evangelical Divinity School in Deerfield, Illinois, still teach a theology that is based on Calvin's overall understanding of the biblical message. So much for the rather straightforward history of covenant theology. Let's take a look at what John Calvin taught concerning the 2 essential points of disagreement I mentioned above. 1. The method one should use in interpreting the Scriptures, and 2. The relationship of Israel to the Church.